the issue that most people have been coming across is the issue of the Hyper-V not enabled on their system. I think last time I did try to show you a bit of where or how to identify if the VMware or the Hyper-V is running on your system. We use the CMD. Let me just quickly do that just for those that maybe have challenges with this. Anyone who's still struggling with the VMware, the installation? I think I just saw a few, and then someone today managed to install that. Let me just do this. Okay, we got Tumi. Tumi, what's your challenge on your end? What error message are you getting?
Hi, Mr. Moyo. When I try to use that disk file that we download on the from the resources, it doesn't really work, so I don't know what's wrong.
Okay, you can drop a WhatsApp, a screenshot of how it looks like, where it gets stuck, and then I will be able to tell okay where the problem is coming from.
Okay.
All right, then I will take it from there. So the first or the number one thing to do, like the issue of the Hyper-V is only mostly with the older laptops, because all of your new laptops comes in enabled automatically. Like the older laptops, those are the ones that you need to kind of like activate it manually via the BIOS. Say 2550. All right, so the one that the issue is that there's no any other way of activating this. Like I looked for commands that you can use, let's say on the CMD to activate it, but it looks like still it's the only way to enable. Let me not say the only way, because in IT there's always so many ways of doing the same thing. Right now, the way that I know to enable this is via your BIOS. So you have to go back to your BIOS, and then the BIOS, the way you access it is via your. It's depending on the vendor that you are using. It can be F2. F12, F1, like, so it depends on the version or the vendor, what device are you using. So, but to first check, this is the process where you can check system info.execute. Then at the bottom here, you can see virtualization enabled in firmware, yes. So if it's yes on your side, it should be able to run. You face like, let's say, any other challenges, but they might not be related to this, the virtualization. So the first thing is to check if virtualization is enabled on your side. All right, and then I also tried to show you where to enable this. Again, it might be different depending on the vendor of your laptop that you're using. If it's a Lenovo, you might find the virtualization activation on a different platform compared to maybe Dell and all of that. So let me see if I can get the part. So I shared this. This is there on your on the resources on Teams. There's a document. There's a Word document. So this platform, it allows you to play around with the BIOS of Lenovo systems. Let's see. We said we can go to that part, and then you choose your laptop. I just want to show you. So we say to get to BIOS, you switch on your PC. The minute it switches on, depending on the vendor, or depending on the brand, you will press the F2, some F8, some F12 there, then it will take you to the BIOS. All right. So it depends on the brand there. And then let's see now, let's say text mode. I don't want the text mode because most of you, the older ones will go to, okay, let's go here, text mode. All right, this is the one, this is how it usually looks like most of the BIOS systems. So you will get to this part after pressing that F2 or the F, depending with the brand again. So you continuously press it to get to the BIOS. After switching it on, then it will take you to this page. So we said you will check here on this list here, looking for Hyper-V or the VT. It will just say VTX, VT-X or Hyper-V, or for some it will just say virtualization. So if you can't find it on this part here, you check the next one. Where is it? Okay, I can't find it there. You check on security. Can you see on security there is virtualization? So on your PC, it will have the option to enable it or disable it. So that's the environment. This is the part there you need to activate on your side. If you are getting that error that says VT-X is not enabled, the problem is coming from here. You need to activate this. You need to switch it on. Then once you have passed that, after that, you should be able to install the VMware workstation. You should be able to run there. You should be able to recognize the system. And then what you do after that, here, what you do is you just click your create a new virtual machine. So you go to Home tab there. The important part is to go to Home tab. Already on my side, I have Windows 10 and then Kali. So you go to your Home tab, and then you go to create a new virtual machine. So you have an option of opening a virtual machine that exists or connecting to a remote server somewhere. But on our side, we want to create a new virtual machine. And then it will take us through the typical installation of this. You have the option for typical, which is the recommended one. If you are not that advanced in terms of like fine-tuning this, you just need to stick to the typical part of it, and then click on next. And then install a disk. On my side already it is located this, but if you don't know where it is, just click there on browse to navigate. It's a file locator to locate the VMware on your system, on your machine. And then the other thing is that you need to be mindful of, please make sure that you save this ISO on a folder where you don't usually delete things. Because the minute you have your virtualization running here, and then someone deletes this ISO, the next time when you try to run this thing, it won't be able to run because the file is deleted. So it keeps on referring to these files here. The virtual environment, it keeps on referring to these files. So you have to make sure that you save it somewhere where you won't delete things much. As you can see on my side, it's under the folder called videos, because I don't really go to videos that much. Some can keep it on music, but on downloads on my side, I know I usually delete stuff under downloads there. So what I'm saying is, after the installation is complete, if this file get deleted, then your VMware won't be able to boot up, won't be able to switch on because the file is deleted. Because when you switch on, it keeps on referring to this file. All right. So just make sure that you keep it on a place where we won't be deleting it. All right. And then there is select that and then say open an image. Again, here on this part, we're not changing much. Windows product key. I don't have a product key. Right. I don't want to type in a password. Press next, Windows 10, and then virtual machine. If you want to give it a name, you can assign it a name, right? Whatever name that it will be easy for you to identify that, because for some of you might have like a lot of VMs here for different operating systems. So I have that, and then click next, and then it's using your hard drive. So the minimum requirement is 60. You're not changing much. You're not changing anything there. Click on next, and then customize hardware. If you want to customize, just in future, if you want to customize, you can customize. You can change the size of RAM from 2, because this is the default allocation of the RAM to your OS. It gave you like 2 gig of RAM. You can change that to 4, to whatever you want, depending on the specs of your device. Processors, it gave me 2. You can change that. And then you can change also the network card, network adapter, especially when you want to connect this, when you want to separate this environment with the other part where it can communicate with your host. So you can change here. For example, let's say I'm building Kali, an environment for hacking here. What I usually do is I change them outside of my host environment, put them in a different part. So you can change that also. USB controller. The rest, yes, you can change the hardware, but I don't want to do that because I just need a standard installation. All right, let me say close that. And then at the end, you just click finish. Then this thing, it should be able to detect the drive from your PC, and it should go ahead with the process of installation. So again, now we are also learning something, which is the installation of an operating system, because we are required also by A+ CompTIA to be able to understand the process of installing an operating system. All right, so you will see it will take us through the process. Again, I'm not expecting any issues because I already have some other VMs running there, the virtual. All right, okay, then it goes through. So it kicks in now, and then it should be able to go through all the files, all the steps, and then the time that it takes is dependent also again on the specs of your device, how fast your device is. For some, it might be 15 minutes, 20, 30, like depending on the specs of your device. So basically, that's how you install any operating system that you're going to install on this environment. That's what you do there. Nothing hectic. It's just like you adding the ISO image. And then if there is any operating system that you need for our classes, I will share that with you. I'll share that environment with you via the resources part. Because so far now I've shared 2 operating systems, which is the Windows OS 10 and then Windows, what's the other one? CentOS, which is Linux. We need to be able to know how to do things. How do I adjust the steps that you need? The rest, Windows will do that for you. So the rest, it will just do that for me. Any questions on the installation phase? I know, was it Pumla? There's someone who said they are facing a challenge there. I said, let me see my WhatsApp if they send something. And again, just to reiterate the importance of this, we just don't want to break your PC, but some of the things you can do them on your host operating system, because these are guest operating system here. The reason why we're creating this environment are the labs that we're going to do going forward. There are things that you might be changing on the system files that might affect your operating system. So what we're saying is that if it breaks, you are not worried. You can delete this thing here directly from here, and then you load another one, or you do the installation again. So we don't want you to break your actual host operating system. So it's best like to play around with this guest operating system so you can make some changes there on this platform. All right, so I will leave that one running there. I just want to see if there's anyone who's having challenges with that, with the installation. So as you can see now on my side, I have this Windows 10 running on this is my VM now. This is the one, everything that I do for labs and everything is running on top of this system. If I break it, I don't care. All right, I just want to see if there's anyone with the question there. All right. There are no questions, right? No questions. Let me see. If you have a question, please unmute yourself and then raise that so that we can fix that. But regarding the VM, that's what you need to know or what you need to do there on the VMs. We need the VM just for us to be able to run these different environments, different software on. All right, so now we are on topic 2B. We moved very fast last time, and then I said to you, to some of you, that you need to just go through the recording and then look at those tools that we went through or the labs that we went through, practice that, because you will be required or you will be asked some few questions via the A+, just for you to know that. So today we just want to continue on that line of those tools where we're looking at the performance and troubleshooting tools. Remember, we said like they're going to be questions that ask you about given a scenario, do 1, 2, 3. Given a scenario, do this and that. All right. So we looked at this, right? The system information. The system information, we said you can type in the say on settings, on search of your computer, you can type in system information. It will give you detailed information about your system, your machine, what's the operating system running there. All right, now I want to close another page. If you have any question, if you want to contribute, just go ahead and say what you want to say, because I don't see the hands now after this, because I have some other screen spare now. All right, so this is the system information part where it shows the information of your operating system or your machine per se, yeah. So it shows you like the OS name, Windows 10 Pro, whatever OS that you're using. And then where do we go to just for us to quickly get that information? Let me just quickly, we say you go to your system information there, system information tray. And then that, as I said that in Windows, there are so many ways of doing the same thing. Someone else might go through the CMD and then they type in system information.execute, then they'll get that detailed information about their PC. Right, they type in system information here, then they'll get the detailed information. So this is important for you just to know what OS version are you using, right? What is the processor? You can check the processors there. You can also see your installed amount of RAM on your PC. so you can see the details about the hardware of your PC. All right, so this is where you're going to be coming just to check those. And then let's see, that is system information. And then event viewer, I think we did touch on event viewer last time. We did discuss what the event viewer is mainly for. Like we said, the system, it keeps tracks of all the events, everything that happens on your PC, it gets logged, right? And then why will you want to know about this as a technician? So for troubleshooting purposes, you can get some detailed information on the event viewer, right? So the event viewer can give you the warnings about the system. So let me just quickly do this. So the event viewer, okay, today I'll be moving in a pace that allows everyone to be able to also run the same thing that I'm running on my side, so you can be able to also do that. So the first one that we did was we typed in system information. We said, we just want to see the OS name, want to see what's the processor, want to see the version of the OS that we're using, the build. And then this information, again, we can find out this information via that command, which is the WinV, Windows version, right? So again, as I said that in Windows, there are so many ways of finding out, of doing the same thing. So that's the first thing that we've done here. Now, the second part that we can do is how to check the event viewer. The shortcut, again, will be on Sage, you can type in run. On Sage, you can type in run. So for the exam, you need to know this. And also, just like as a technician, you need to be able to know where to get the logs of your PC, right? What's happening on your PC. So you can see you type in event VWR just for you to be able to get to the event viewer, the shortcut or the other way of getting to event viewer. So there is event VWR.msc and then click OK. The shortcut for you to get to run there or to get this run option there is Windows R. So you press Windows key and then R, it will take you to this page, the run there. All right, so on this part there on Windows, we have system information, right? So event viewer will keep the default log. So the system log, it contains information about the events of the OS, right? The effect or things that happens on the core OS, everything that is happening on the operating system. So we said any load failures if the system is trying to load or open an application, or hardware conflicts, driver load failures, it happens, it keeps that information that affects the operating system on the system's folder there, the system folder. Any information that is related to the system, the OS operating system, then it shows you that. We said we have different types of errors. We have different metrics. We have different levels. We have the warning. We have the error. We also have critical. So information, we said, is just general information about the PC. All right. And then here on the application part, it keeps mentioning that there's to do with the non-core processes, like something that is not OS related, like that doesn't affect the entire system, but maybe it affects a specific application, then those information will be kept in this part. Like for example, your third-party applications, whatever applications that you have installed after you have your Windows 10 or your Windows 11, that information that affects your third-party systems will be kept under the applications. All right. And then we have the security part. Security, this is every time when you log in on your PC, that information is kept on the system. And then let's say you try to type in your username and password and then it fails, you get it wrong, then that login failure will be captured here, or the login success will also be captured on this side. All right, so all that information is captured on this side. And then for the event viewer, definitely for the CompTIA A+, you definitely need to know these things, that on the application, what do we get that side? What are we monitoring? What logs are we getting about on the application folder? And then on the system, we said mainly these are the things that affect your operating system, like your drivers or hardware, anything that didn't load properly that is related to the operating system. And then here we said security, all right? And then we say the setup logs, just like these generate, like these are your installation, right? Generated during your installation when we install the system, while it creates that these information or these logs about the installation of that system. But the event viewer is very important for you as a technician, not only as a technician, also on the CompTIA A+, you need to know whatever is kept here under these tabs here. We said application security system. What is it that is kept under that? Why do we have those? All right. And then we spoke about the levels, right? We have information. We said information is just like it's something that is not worth knowing, right? Okay, this is what's happening on your PC, but it doesn't have like a serious impact on your actual PC. It's just information about what's happening on your PC. And then we looked at also the errors. We said there is an error. So the error less severe compared to your critical. So an error is less severe. It just shows you, okay, there is an issue that needs to be resolved. And then critical, these are the ones that you need to treat them with urgency, right? You need to make sure that you resolve these ones fast, because they might cause your system to fail, especially if they're under the system part there. If you're getting the critical errors under the system tab there, just know that this is something that it needs your attention. You need to look at that and then see if you can fix that. So a warning, just like a potential that leads to an error, something that will lead you to an error or a critical condition. So it needs your remediation. It needs you to correct it, look into it, and then fix that. And then the other thing that is important when it comes to this, we have what we call the, as a security operations center team, or just as a technician, you might have 100 laptops. As I said last time, that you might have many laptops in your organization. You don't want to be monitoring these laptops individually. So you might be collecting only, let's say, the critical information and the warning information that you're getting on this PC Windows 10 Bootcamp system. It might be going to, let's say, a central device somewhere where you can be able to view, okay, PC number 10 is having problem with this. Yes, it's giving me critical message. PC number 10, PC number 11, or I'm getting warnings. So this is things that you might be collecting from these devices, so that before it fails, you get these warnings, you get this critical message, so you act before it crashes. So that's the other important thing about the event viewer. We can collect this using an agent. So last time, I think I did talk about a software that most companies use from a company called Manage Engine. Cisco, they have their own, and then Microsoft, they have their own, where you can monitor the logs that are happening on your PC. Okay, so that's the event viewer there in short. So that's the event viewer there in short. And then if I'm moving fast, please let me know. But I think I have taken enough time on the event viewer just to give you an idea of what's happening on the event viewer. All right. Okay. And then now, again, these are the troubleshooting tools. We're focusing on the troubleshooting tools that you're going to use as a technician to quickly pick up where the problem is coming from. Because now the reason, one of the things is that when you're troubleshooting a system, you need to find sources of information. Sources of information, it's a platform or a place where you can get information about what's causing your system to behave the way it's behaving. Let's say maybe the system keeps on having intermittent shutdowns. So you might get information from this platform here. Okay, there's an application that is causing a system to behave this way. Or there's an application that is, or a hardware that is not releasing RAM, or hardware that is not releasing something. So this part here, it becomes your source of information when you are troubleshooting. Number one source of information when you are troubleshooting is the user, is the person that was using the PC before it started failing. So those are the people, that's the person you go to and be like, okay, what did you change? What changes were made before the system started behaving this way? So that's a source of information. The user, the end user, becomes a source of information. And then also these logs, they become also the source of information, which makes it easy for you to troubleshoot, do fault finding where the problem is coming from. So you're building up on the what you call information gathering. What you got from the end user. The end user might tell you, okay, I just installed an application or something happened to my PC. There's this change that happened on my PC. Okay, that information plus what you are getting here on the logs, then you might be able to tell, okay, what exactly is causing your system to behave this way. So this is one of the tools that are powerful when it comes to troubleshooting, in terms of like becoming your source of information, getting more information about how we can fix this. So that is the event viewer tool number one. That's tool number two, because we look at the system settings where it shows you the information about the system. I want to look at the other important one, which is yeah. So you will go a lot to Task Manager for different reasons. So how do we get to Task Manager? So I can right click here on the tabs at the bottom there, and then I'll click on Task Manager. So you right click here at the bottom there. Let me see if I can get my draw option. So you can right click here at the bottom there, right click here, the black part there, which is the task, I think the taskbar, right? So you right click there. Shortcut is Control Shift Escape just to get the task manager. And then what are we doing? What are the task manager? So this is a so there are two just for you to get to this part, but the other route would be right clicking at the bottom there, right? And then now let's open this part that says more details. If, like, let's say it's not showing you them all the details here on your side, you click on more details, then it will show you detailed information. Right now, our focus is on the troubleshooting tools. Sometimes you get this issue whereby the application is not responding or the application is not closing. For example, if you want to close, let's say you have ever seen like an application that is hanging, it's not closing at all. So what we usually do is you can open the there's an application that is closing, it's hanging, it's halting the operations on your PC. You select that, and then you should be able to end that via the end task then. There are scenarios whereby even your task manager is also not responding. Yeah, we get situations like that where the only tool that is supposed to help you kill the other application, is also hanging, it's halting like your operations, it's not moving, like it's not doing anything, you can't do anything, right? So usually what I do is I will just have to restart the PC if it's not allowing me to do anything at all. But before you even restart your PC, the number one or the place to go to is you just need to close that individual application that is stopping the application or the system from running. All right. And then performance, you can see if your PC CPU is struggling, right? If, let's say, maybe there is an application that is chowing much of your CPUs, there are these other applications that we download from other unauthorized places, or you just you found software, and then when with that, this case we have these apps that we can maybe you want to use an application only to realize remotely for what you call mining Bitcoin. Always high, it's always like on higher percentage. Again, if you're suspicious that, okay, this application is not the correct one, you can just uninstall the application, get rid of that, and then go download it at the correct site. For some of us, I know we download we have these cracked versions of softwares. Those are the other, have other elements where they might have add their own code to that application and then end up like, doing other things on our PC. And then it's usually taking much of your, if there's extra thing that is doing, it will take much of your CPU and then your memory. It will be consuming much of your specs on your side, usually, if it's used for other things. Okay. And then the performance, this is you checking your performance. And then you can also see that your hard drive is SSD. You can also see that, okay, I got an Ethernet cable that I'm connected using an Ethernet. That's why it should be showing something here. So I'm using, like, this is my virtual environment. So on my host operating system, I'm using my wireless, right? So the wireless interface card is the one that will be showing here. All right, this is your amount of memory that is used now. So if your CPU is struggling, you can tell by here on this part, the percentage is utilization. All right, the virtual environment, I spoke about cloud computing. So cloud computing, the way we virtualize our environment, also in cloud computing, we can virtualize it that way. But the good part with cloud computing is scalability, where you can scale up. If the percentage of your CPU or your memory is taken much by your work that you're doing now, it can automatically scale up to have more CPU or more memory to accommodate the task that you are working on now, and then it will reduce later on. So that's the power of cloud. I think we'll look at the cloud. There's a topic for cloud computing where we look at the virtualization of that. All right, the other tab that you need to know is the app history. All right, resource usage since the time frame it gives you the history of that, shows you about that application. So if you are drilling down and trying to find out any malicious apps on your site, on your PC, you can see all that information. And then on startup, so on the startup, like there are situations whereby your PC, when it switches on, it takes forever to switch on. Like the process of switching on is now become is longer than it used to be. The reason for that, other reason for that can be when you switch on your PC, there are so many other applications that are also running when you're switching on your PC. So for some applications, you don't really need them to switch on with your operating system. So they can run after the operating system is done with everything. So here you can activate, deactivate any application that you don't want it to show up on the startup part, right? So you can control that. For example, if I want to disable this one, I've selected it at the bottom there. I can, now it's disabled. I can enable that is switch on. There are some applications, yes, that you need them you need them to switch on when the OS switch on. Then those one you enable them, you keep them enabled. For example, VM Tools Core, this one can switch on later on. You see, so anything, maybe the firewall and other applications, you find that, okay, you need them enabled so that they can do their work when the system switches on. But in a situation whereby your CPU has become too slow, your situation is when you're switching on, your system is becoming too slow, you can come here and deactivate or disable stuff that really your PC doesn't need when it switches on. All right, users, if there are many other users connected to this environment, you will see all the users connected to that. All right, details of the processes. So these are the processes running on your PC that these might be some other things that your operating system needs in order for it to run, right? In the Linux side, we call them the daemons. So we're going to look at that on the Linux side, the daemons, the processes that the operating system need for them to be able to run, right? So these are what other services that this operating system need. For some of them, if they are disabled, it might affect your system or might affect something within your system. All right, so that's the task manager. You will come here for many reasons, just to check your performance, just to check or to deactivate something that is halting the processes on your machine. So that's the task manager. For troubleshooting purposes, fixing issues on your PC, it is very powerful. It helps a lot, especially on ending applications that are really not responding at all. So task manager is very important for that purpose. Okay, we looked at the CPU, in memory. Okay, the RAMs. Okay, the other ones now. Okay, the monitoring part. Let me see. Just want to see from. Okay, the other one now that can give us more information about this system is called the resource monitor. It's called the resource monitor. Let me see if I can do that. The other one that can give us more details. So we have looked at the event viewer. So the task manager, we have looked at that. We said the shortcuts are your control shift escape. For some, I think we said it's control shift delete, if I'm not mistaken. So we have looked at that in length. And then task manager performance, we looked at all of that. All right, we looked at that. The startup processes. All right, so now I want to look at this one, the resource monitor and performance monitor. So what will be the difference now between this, the resource monitor and then your task manager now? So this one, it shows like enhanced snapshot of the task manager. So it's more powerful than your task manager. It shows you detailed information in terms of like the snapshot or the graphics. All right, so let's check it out. I think the shortcut for that is you type this resmont.msc. So let's go to our search there. Let's go to our search. And again, if I'm moving fast, please just let me know. All right, we looked at the other. Now we want to look at the resource monitor. We're saying it's similar to your task manager. It's just that it shows an enhanced version of the snapshot monitoring options, right? That are provided by your task manager. It goes into details. All right, we say the shortcut is, I need to Control R, and then I want to type in res mon dot execute there. All right, so we do have these details here. So you can see now it shows us detailed information. This is the overview. It says, okay, this is everything that you have on your PC. So let me show you that. I can go to the CPU and then click also on services. It shows me the services that are running, right? And then associated handles, associate modules. So it shows me all of those services that are currently running. So the services are what your operating system needs for it to be able to run at the back end, right? Like these are the ETS services, right? And then we have your memory there. It shows us that, okay, in memory, this is the PID just stands for process ID. So each and every service on your PC, it will be given a process ID, PID. You'll also see this in Linux when we type in the commands in Linux that show us the different demos running on the Linux machine, and then the process ID assigned to that. So you can see svc host.execute for network services, and we have the other one for VMs, VMI there. So those are all that are now utilizing our memory right now. All right, hardware reserved 1 MB in use is 930 modified, free. All right, and then disk, it shows us what's on the disk right now, what we are accessing on the disk, some part of the OneDrive information, and then the network part, local service, and then the network components there. So that's the resource monitor. It shows us the performance, the resources that we're monitoring these resources per se on this one, right? Like your same as your task manager, that side. It's just that this side, it's more detailed than your task manager. It gives you more graphics than the task manager there. All right, we have okay, we looked at the performance counters. Let me see. All right, so these are the tools that you need to know when you're prepping for your A+. You need to know what happens within these tools. What can you change? What can you access on these tools? What information can you get out of these tools that will help you to troubleshoot the current state of the system, all right? So now, the other one that is we used to go to a lot back then when we're using the dual boot is the MS config. So let me see if I'm on the right track. All right. We looked at the performance counters, the processors, all right, the usage of those system configuration utility. All right, now I'm on the MS config. I'm on the MS config. It's one of the tools that we use a lot in terms of like when we want to dual boot our system or change the boot option. So I used to come here a lot for the dual boot, go to run. So they're on run. Now for this one, you type in MS config. MS stands for Microsoft configuration. So you type in MS config and then .execute. So MS config.execute. So you type in MS config.execute. I'll show you what we used to come here to change a lot. So right now on my side is a selective startup. Usually on your side, if it's not a VM, you find that it's usually on your normal startup, right? So this is the selective startup. That means there are certain parts that it selects when it starts up, when it switches on. So on our host operating system, it's usually on normal startup. In situations where you're troubleshooting something, you're diagnosing your system, you can choose the diagnostic. So it will load basic devices and services on them. So it will load only what the operating system needs for it to run. That by doing that, it eliminates other issues that might be causing your system not to start up or to run. So it eliminates unnecessary services and applications that are not supposed to start when your system starts, so that you can pick up, or you kind of like picking up, okay, what is it that caused the system to behave that way? So it's one of those platforms here where it helps with the troubleshooting purposes. And then the other one is the boot option. The boot, so we used to have back in the day before the virtualization, for example, now, like what we're doing now, teaching this class, right? So we used to have classes, like let's say maybe I have a class for Windows 7, I'm teaching Windows 7. And then let's say this week I'm teaching Windows 7. So what will I do is I will boot from Windows 7. So the whole week, my laptops for the lab or for the classroom, I'll be using Windows 7. And then next week, if you're teaching Windows 8 or any other operating system, you boot from a different what? From a different operating system. The problem with this dual boot here is that you can't run two applications simultaneously. Only one application can run at a time. So if I have two applications here, let's say I have Windows 10 and Windows 11, I can't run all of them at the same time. Like what we're doing now, down here, let me say draw. So down here, no, it can't show. I can't show what I want to do. Let me say escape. Let me try again. I want to draw something. So down here, this is my host operating system. And then inside here, this is my guest operation system. So I'll call it G. This one I call it host. So what I'm now, you can see I'm running these two operating systems simultaneously now. They are both running at the same time. But with the dual boot here, if you have Windows 10 and Windows 11, so you will boot on Windows 10. And then let's say done teaching Windows 10, I will have now, when I'm switching on my PC next, I'll boot on Windows 11. So you are able to switch between that. It's just that on your hard drive, you have Windows 11 and then you have Windows 10. So the better environment, or the best way now that to do this is now via the virtualization, where you have the VMware and then you have your operating system running on top of that instead of using the dual boot. So let me show you again what I mean by the dual boot. I do have here let me go to I do have two operating system on my machine. What am I looking for? I said the dual ms config. Let me say ms config dot execute. Now I'm running msconfig on my host operating system, not on my guest. Let's see. I want to run it on my, let me just say, let me look for it, that, and then type in msconfig dot execute and say, okay. Let me see if it shows me that page. Why is it displaying the page? Not this one. Let's say, okay, there. Just when I don't know why is it opening the page. I have so many tabs open. Come on, that, and then run my ms config.execute. All right, finally it pops up on my window there. All right, so on my side, check here. This is my now, this information is coming from my host operating system. So check, I have Windows 10 and then I have Windows 11. So your default operating system, you have to set it as default there. So this boot option, it says every time when I switch on my PC, by default, it chooses Windows 11. So this is the dual boot. You can have two operating systems on your hardware, on your computer, but one will be the default, and then the other one you will switch to this one. So how do I switch to this one? I will have to switch off my PC, and then when it switches on, I then switch to Windows 10. But if I don't make any changes, by default, it will always keep on going to Windows 11. So that's the dual boot there. The one that I'm talking about, where I'm saying we used to have Windows 7 and Windows 8 and other operating system as our dual boot. So depending on whatever class that we are teaching, If the client requires that we teach, they're using Windows 7, we use Windows 7. If they're using Windows 8, if they're using Windows 10, whatever version that they prefer, then we boot on that. But this is not a best way of doing it. That's why we have virtualization now. But you can, if virtualization is not working on your platform, if virtualization is not working on your platform right now, if it gives you problems, so you can go for this option, Windows 10. You have Windows 10, and then you have another one there at the side. If you have Windows 11 and then Windows 10. So when we're having classes like this, you can boot to Windows 10, which is your, let's say, your environment. If it breaks, you don't mind because you have your, what you call your current, your default OS there. But I don't really advise that now. It's best to virtualize your environment via the VMware. And then VMware is not the only software. It's just that's my preferred software, but there's VirtualBox and other different tools. All right. And then services, we have seen services on other parts of the other tools there. And then startup, we have seen the task up. You can see it directs us to Task Manager there. If you click on this, it will take you to Task Manager. And then the other tools, you can see the OS tools. We have all the UAC. We spoke about this. User access control, computer management, event viewer. So these are the other troubleshooting tools that you can use. Computer management is more information. I think we looked at that. System information, we checked it out today. Event viewer, we checked it out. So Rage Edit, we checked it out last time, Task Manager. So these are the other tools. System restore, you need the system restore just to restore your system to the state it was before a crash or before something. But you need to have a restore point where you're referring it to, right? I think there's a part for creating, there's a lab for creating the restore point. All right, so these are the tools that we are looking at, some of them now, just for the performance monitors, event viewer, just to troubleshoot our system. These are the tools that we were looking at. All right, but for CompTIA, the one tab that they usually ask you of when it comes to the exam is this tab here. And this one here, general, what is found under general? We said we have a normal startup, load all devices, drivers, and services. So you don't have a problem with your system. Can you see now, this is my guest operating system. Sorry, this is my host operating system, which is Windows 11. As I said, that usually on your host operating system, it's usually on normal startup. And then your guest operating system, they will be, by default, they will move to selective startup, right? And then diagnostic, we say this is the part where some of the unnecessary application, the system won't run them when you switch it on, just to avoid the system from crashing or avoid the problem that the system has. So we can do this to diagnose your system, find out what is it that causing your system to behave this way. So by default, your host will be usually on normal startup. So they take note of these tabs, the general and the boot. The services, we have seen it on other tabs. It's just the services of the system, like your BitLockers, your ActiveX, and other services that the operating system need or we use for other things. But boot and general, because these other ones, you will find them on other tools that we've looked at. So here for MS config, system configuration, just keep those ones. All right. So that is the MS config. It has detailed information and is very important for things like you just want to do a dual boot. So general tab, select boot mode, right? We looked at that. Boot tab, set custom boot parameters, services tab, view status of background processes. Okay, so now we have looked at all of those different types of tools that you're going to be asked. Like for this one, trust me, there will be questions. Those questions that we spoke about, that we said, that what type of questions? Given a scenario. So those given scenarios questions, they'll be referring to these tools. Given a scenario, how do you do dual boot? Where do you go to? Given a scenario, blah, blah, blah. So all of those will be referring to this part here. All right, so this is, all right, I don't think I was rushing that. I tried my best to be a bit slow so that you can follow along and check out different parts of those tabs. Where's Remo? I haven't seen Remo. Remo, how was my pace today?
Sure, Mr. Moyo, no. Now your pace is perfectly fine. My VM is working, everything is working perfectly. As you move, I'm also moving on my side, so I'm quite happy. Sure.
All right, cool. All right. Okay, I was worried about my pace because sometimes I can fly, you know. All right. So we have looked at these. Those are important tools you need. We need those tools just for not only for the exam, because I know some of you that are in this class, you are not here like to take the exam. Some of you said you've already taken the exam. It's just that you just want to do a refresher course on this. So those tools will also help you just to troubleshoot, being able to pick up the issues within your PC and be able to quickly resolve them, right? Some of them are your sources of information, places to go to get detailed information about why is the system behaving this way. Because the thing is that a system, can, like for example, overheating on a PC can be caused by several things. So if someone comes to you and say, okay, my system is overheating, it might be caused by several things. A PC can overheat because maybe the fan is no longer working there. A PC can overheat. Maybe someone just installed an application that is chowing too much resources on the system, or it's just a corrupt file or a virus, a malicious file that was installed then it just causes the system to behave that way. So for you to quickly troubleshoot, the one thing that I always tell my technicians that, or in my classes, is that in order for you to be the best in troubleshooting, you need to be nice to the end users. The person who was using the PC, they will give you detailed information to say, okay, you know what? I was doing 1, 2, 3 before the system started failing. So whatever they did, it might be the cause of the system behaving that way. So that would be your starting point. Because as I said, that a system can behave in a certain way caused by different things. Overheating can be caused by several things. So now how do you pinpoint what exactly caused the system to behave this way? It's based by the sources of information. First point of contact is the end user. Number two, event viewer. There we check what were the logs, what were the errors that went in them. And then the other information is your internal database. So companies, we do have this database where we keep all the queries that were raised, and then how were they resolved, and then what caused that system to behave that way. Those are all your sources of information. So those are things that makes you a best technician. The number one is communication skills. Number one, most important one for technicians. What the technicians get it wrong is you need to be a good communicator. Communicating with the end user, getting that information from them. What is it? If you go to them and blame them and say, okay, you are the problem. You are the one who did the 1, 2, 3 to the system. That's why the system is behaving this way. Just know that they will never give you detailed information about what happened to the system. But if you're nice to them, and be like, put the blame on the hardware or put the blame on the system and be like, these technical things, they do happen. They will give you detailed information of like, I did 1, 2, 3 on the PC, and then it started doing 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if it is the thing that caused the system to behave this way. So they're giving you a hint. They're giving you a hint. That on its own, it's a key. You are done. Like someone with a bad communicator, like those ones that come in and they will take hours trying to figure out what's the problem. But the key is the person who was using the PC. Be nice to them, then they give you the information, and then you can use other sources. So when it comes to troubleshooting, we're saying source number one is the end user. Source number two is the event logs, maybe that the system generate. And then number three is the internal database of the queries that we see all the time. Because when you go to varsity, what we teach you is the generic IT. But when you get to a company have their own problems that they face as an organization because of the way their network is set up, because of their infrastructure, of which in school, maybe some of the problems are not there. But that internal database, the query log, the documentation, it helps you as a technician to say, okay, these are the problems that this company usually deal with. This is how they fix 1, 2, 3. So that's another thing. There's so many sources of information. If internal database is not working, it's not giving you details, you go to the site, we have these communities, Microsoft community. You find that someone has faced a similar problem that you are looking at, then maybe they posted it online. You quickly use that. But those ones are not your first point of search, right? Your first point of search for more information, end user, the event viewer, the logs of the system. Number three, internal database. Number four, then you can start going out, YouTube, online, Google, AI tools after you've started with the basic ones. All right. So you, again, there are policies in companies. When we work for a company, the company will give you time frames in terms of like how long should you take to kind of try to resolve a query. For some will say 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, if you can't resolve it, you escalate the issue. That means you have failed. So we have those tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 different levels of IT support. So if you are tier 1, you're like, hey, maybe 15 minutes is gone by, I can't fix this. Where is my other guys? Call the other guys, escalate. And then those ones, they have experienced more than you. They quickly find the problem. If they can't, they also escalate. If the third one can't, if the final can't resolve the problem, then we call the vendor sometime, or the supplier. We start with the supplier. Okay, how do I fix 1, 2, 3? They should be able to know how to do that. Okay, let's go back to command prompt. I have spoken much on the troubleshooting part side. Let's look at the command prompt. Let's look at on the command prompt. Let's go to CMD, right? The shortcut for command prompt, we're still going through via the run option. Let me go to, so when I look at, what are we looking at? The cmd.execute shell, run as administrator. So again, we, on the user account part, we said we need administrator privileges. You need an administrator account to do high-level processes or high-level tasks in your computer. So if you can't run certain things on command prompt, that means maybe you didn't go in as the administrator. So you need to go in as administrator for you to be able to run different tools. So the CMD is very important because there are so many things that you need to run there, like checking the IP address of your device, checking the network status, checking like the IP addresses of different systems. So there's so many things that we can do within the command prompt. So we just want to look at the command prompt in detail and see what we can do. So we have the syntax, command syntax. So the syntax is just like the grammar of the way you type in the commands. So you will have a command name, and then you have like arguments, and then you have like the switches. So we'll look at that just now. And then if you're not sure what command to type in, this works for most of the systems. For Linux, you can put a question mark if you're not sure what to do, what command to type in. For Cisco devices, if you're not sure what command to type in on the environment, like let's say on the CLI, then you put a question mark to detail the available commands for you. So let's go to CMD and see what options we have. And then on the CMD, we want to look at this. What is DIR? What is the CDXXS? What are these? All right. So how do we then get to the CMD? Right now, we said we want to go to CMD as administrators. So let me close this one, and then we go together on the CMD. So you can type in there on CMD. Again, there are so many ways of getting to CMD. Someone else might even find it via here. There should be, all right, it's not there. Okay, there's only PowerShell. All right, there is, so you can even type here directly CMD. And then we said we want to run it as the, what you call, as an administrator. Can you see the part that says run as administrator? So you need the privileges. There might be some commands that we run that will require you to be an administrator. All right. And then you'll see this user account control. This is what I was talking about last time when I said, even though you are running on your PC as an administrator, but anytime you start to do any action that requires administrator permissions, Microsoft will pop in this UAC to just let you know that, okay, there is an application that you are about to run that requires these higher level permissions. Are you the one who's running this? If I'm not the one, maybe someone remotely is running my PC trying to install something, then this thing pops up. Then I was just saying, no, I'm not the one because I'm not really running. I don't want to run CMD. But right now, I am the one who wants to run this. So I will say yes. All right, let's see if I can zoom in. Control Shift Plus. I think that's the short. Control. Come on. I forgot mine. It's Control Shift, zoom in. Control Shift Plus. Okay. No, mate. All right. I'm not sure if guys can see nicely there. I know it's Control Shift Plus, or it's on Linux. All right. My text is too small. Let me just do this. I want to zoom in so you can see better. Control. Oh, yes, Control Shift, but my Shift key is not working. Stuck somewhere there. Control Shift. No. Okay, let me just do that. I don't know. I forgot how to zoom in. Okay, can you see there my thingy there, my CMD platform nicely there? I know it's too small. But okay, we want to run different commands here. So right now on my side, I am on C Windows System 32. So I just want to go, maybe you might want to go to different platforms here. Maybe you want to go to your users, right? You want to go. So there is CD. CD is the command to change directory. So CD stands for change directory. So the directory in this platform, we're just talking about folders, right? Directory refers to folders, move from this directory to another directory, documents folder, documents, desktop folder. These are directories. So we just want to move from one directory to another directory. So right now, what we want, check here on your side, we have C. So the C is the drive. This is the drive that you are on now. The C and then backslash C and then those, what is that? Is a colon or whatever. And then backslash and then Windows and then system 32. It shows me that I'm currently on this system 32. If I type in dir on your side, dir, directory. So it says directory and press enter. It details it just displays what's on your screen, right? Or what's on the files or folders that are on this directory now. So directory, it displays the files and folders in this directory, which is system 32. So the dir, CompTIA will ask you this. You will get this a lot, like these questions. You need to know what is dir stands for. It's directory, and then what we use it for to display the different folders and files within a folder, within a directory. So the terminology is a directory. All right, and then we want to go to, let's say, CD. I just want to say users. Let me see. The system can't find the specified path. That's okay. Let me just say backslash. So now I said CD space backslash users. I wanted to go to the users. So I'm moving away. So this is how you navigate. You use the CD to navigate. You use the CD to move around. You use the CD. So this is the one that shows you where you are. I am on the C drive, and then now I am inside what? The users part. I can do a dir just to display also what is inside here. You can see now inside the users part, if there are 3 or 4 users here, I could see, like right now there's only Clint, which is the only account. If I have more than one account, I will see all of those accounts here. So just know that the dir directory is a command used to display the files and folders within a directory. And then the CD is for changing directory. So you are moving from one folder to another folder. So remember last time we spoke about the DOS, and then we said Windows, where the first time they were using the CMD to type in everything and all of that. So it was only command based. So here we still use the CMD for troubleshooting, for displaying detailed information about what we're looking for. So we have learned about 2 commands. The first command is dir, it's the directory. It displays details, it displays folders and files within a directory. And then the second one is CD, which is the change directory. So right now I'm on C drive, backslash users. I want to go inside this account of mine here. I want to go to this account of mine, which is Clint there. So let me try to say CD change to, let me say Clint without putting the backslash and C. So you can see now I am where? See, so for you to know what platform you are in or where you are, you look at these. Okay, let me try to zoom in again because I don't like how it looks like. Come on. Hey, anyone who remembers the shortcut for this zooming in? I think this is Control Shift plus and Control minus, if I'm not mistaken. But my site is not responding, or it's just that it's on a virtual environment, but I don't know, think so. All right, so now we're still learning, we're still working with the two commands, which is the CD and then the dir. We say the CD is for changing directories. The directory is just basically folders. So on File Explorer, check, we have, these are directories. We have desktop, we have downloads, we have documents, pictures, music, videos. So we have these directories. These are directories here. Let me see once I go inside. Let's see what dir. Let me display what we have here. Can you see now? We have those folders that side, documents, sorry, desktop, documents, downloads, favorites, links. So this is what you find here. This is what we have here. So currently I'm on the C drive, and then it's displaying what? Desktop, downloads, documents, pictures. So right now I'm displaying all of these. So this is the graphic user interface. So we can see I'm using my mouse to navigate to different parts in the mouse. Then I can go to marketing folder, open that. So I'm using my mouse. This is a graphic user interface. We call it the GUI in short, the GUI. But that side, I am on the command line interface, CMD, right? I'm on the CMD. So to display the folders or directories within this part, we typed in dir, and then we displayed this. So you can see we've seen the same things from this side and then this side, desktop. So right now, if I want to display what's inside desktop, on this side, I would double click it, right? Then I can display, I see there's marketing, sales, certificates, MSc, CMD. But this side, if I want to display that, I will need to, there's so many ways of doing that, but on my side, I need to go inside desktop folder first. I will just go through this CD and then go to desktop folder. When we're doing this on Linux, Linux is case sensitive. I don't think Windows is case sensitive. So CD and then to desktop. Can you see now it says what? C drive. Which one is the C drive? This is the C drive here. So you see this is the C drive here, local disk drive. When you install your operating system, by default, we say it goes to your C drive. So this is my C drive inside here. And then on C drive, we have users. Can you see the users? And then on C drive, we have users, and then inside users, we have cleaned. Can you see the path there? It says this PC, they says what? C drive, users, cleaned. So on the graphic user interface, this is how it looks like. Check there now. C drive, users, cleaned. Then I can see all those desktop documents, downloads, all these different folders there. So you can see all of these. So on the graphic user interface, you will see it on this path. So we call it the path this side, right? So it shows you the full path to that folder. If I want to go to desktop, click on desktop. If I click there again, can you see now what it says there? It says C drive, users, cleaned, desktop. Then it shows me all the items that are inside there. It's just that the difference now this side is we are using the command interface. We're typing commands to navigate to this side. But it's the same as this side. It's just that they simplified it for the end users to be able to use. Remember, the first PC that was developed by Microsoft was designed for engineers only and technicians, mostly engineers for production. And then later was open for the market, public market. So they had to switch to GUI to simplify this. But in short, there is the same part the same thing that we're doing this side. I have C drive, I have users, cleaned, and then desktop. Then that side here, if I want to display what's inside desktop, we double click it, right? And then it displayed items inside the desktop. This side though, I type in dir to display. So check now. If I say dir, it should display all of those files that are inside here. Oh, it's nothing, man. It's your phone. It's what? Right, so you can see now we have displayed what's inside here. We have the marketing folder, which is a directory we have sales directory, we have certificates.msc, which is everything that you see here on the screen, right? This is what Microsoft Edge there, there's the link for Edge. We have all these there, cmd.txt. To change directory, and then the other one is the dir, displays what's inside that. So now what I want you to do on your side, make sure that you are on this desktop path, and then see users. So here on your side, it is your name, right? It picks up your name, that side, and then it will show you your desktop. So again, if you're not sure how to do this, let me see if I can do this. Let me do this. Let's say you are not sure how to do it. You can go to, let's see if it works. You can go this side and then click there on the top there. Let's say you want to go to that desktop, your desktop. You want to go to your desktop, and then you control C that. Let's see if you can control C the path. So you see, you control C the path, control C the path. And then you come back here, you say CD space, and then you right click, let's see, just to add that path there. So let me just do that again. If for you to be on the same path with me, just say CD and then control V, that part there. So I went to via the directory this side. If you feel like, okay, you might make mistake typing it. So I went this side. I want us all to be on the desktop path. So you can come here and then you copy that. Do a copy of that part. And then you come this side on your command prompt, you type in CD and then space, you paste that part there so that we all can be on desktop. So we all can be on the desktop path. So it should show, I just want us all to, this thing to show like this on our side. All right, I'm assuming that we're all there now. All right, and then you can do a DIR just to verify what's in there. If it's so, you do a DIR just to verify if what you have on your desktop is the same as what's showing on your CMD there. Just do a DIR there. And then on my side, I verified that it has exactly the same documents, folders, directories that I have on my desktop there. All right. On your side, I want us to have folders. So we just want to look at how to create a folder. So we will create these two folders. I want us to create two folders. Let me just do this. Let me just do this. Save that. Where's the other thing that I'm looking for? Okay. So now here, I want you to have marketing and sales folder inside the. I want you to type in or create a folder. So there's a command for creating a folder. It's called mkdir. mkdir. It stands for make directory, which means create a directory. So mkdir. And then I want you to create a folder called marketing. I want you to create a folder called marketing. So you do make mkdir space marketing. I want you to have a folder called marketing. All right, press enter once you're done. All right, so on my side, I'm not going to run that because I will have two file folders within my system there. All right. So once we have that, also the second one now folder that I want you to create is, let me just come back here. The second folder that I want you to create is cells. Call it cells. MKDIR cells. And then, so we're creating two folders. So the first one was marketing, and the second one is cells. So make MKDIR and then do cells. And then press enter. It won't give you any error, but by default, check here on my side, automatically I have, it creates that on my desktop there. So that's the Mac directory. I create folders within your desktop. So now we have two folders. We have two folders. I want us to try something. Let's say we have two folders now. I want us to create files. Check on my marketing folder that I've already created. I have, let's create folders here. Let's create a folder. Create a folder saved data01, but do it on the GUI side. So what I'm saying is you have created a folder called marketing. So go to that marketing folder via the GUI, not via the CMD, via the graphic user interface there. Create a subfolder. Yeah, label, go ahead. Label, I'm not sure if, let's see if, okay, yeah, you can unmute yourself, label. I think your hand was up. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm not sure if label wanted to say something there. Okay, now check here. What was I doing? Now I want you to create this the same way that the standard way of creating a folder. So you just say new and then data01, right? So data01, and then now we just want to have that folder. And then inside the folder, create a file there, new, let's say file, let me say test01.txt. So inside the marketing folder, I created the subfolder called data01. And then inside data01, I created a file called text. Why on my side it added another extension there. So just be on the lookout for these extra extensions there that I created. Let me say rename there. I just only want, on my side it says text01.txt because I added that txt and then it added its own. All right. So I just want it to be test01.txt. And then, yeah, just have that folder there. Now, I want us to create these files using the commands instead of creating a file manually like this. Now we know how to create a file manually, right? We said you can just do right click there and then you say new and then text document. So we just want to look at how then do we create these files. Okay, so we have those two folders, right? Let me do a dir. I have created the marketing folder and then I have created the sales folder. So what I want to do is I just want to see if I can create a file inside the marketing folder. So inside the marketing folder, which file do I want to create? I want to create a file called file01.txt. I want to create a file inside marketing folder called file01. Okay. So again, if you are not sure of what you are doing there, you can even do the whole part like this. Copy the whole part. Let's see if it works. You copy the whole part and then say, by the way, we're creating a new file inside the marketing folder, right? So before we do that method that I want to do now, let's do this one. Just do echo. So type in echo. So we created a folder already by using mkdir. We created a marketing folder. So now we just want to create a file inside marketing. So echo, and then we do a greater than, meaning that it's not that. Echo 0, not O, echo O, not 0. Echo dot, so echo dot and then forward. the greater than there, right? And then the name of the folder where you want to create the file in, marketing, and then backslash, the name of the file, we said we want to call it file 01.txt. So echo dot space greater than space marketing backslash file 01.txt. And then if we're getting something wrong, it will give us an error message, and then we'll troubleshoot, try to find out where the problem is coming from. But right now, I typed in echo dot greater than marketing backslash file 01.txt. Let's press enter, and then if we get that error, we look at what the problem is coming from. Mine is not responding anymore. Is the virtual machine or what? All right, my VM is not responding. How many? There's so many things running. Come on. I'm just waiting for it to kick in there. Just create that for me. All right, you can see now it's done. It's just that it's slowing down a bit. So it didn't give me an error, meaning that if I go inside the file, let me now say, let me go to CD marketing. So before I even go to CD marketing, you will check on your side. On your side, you should have like that file 01.txt on your side. Marketing, echo dot that greater than marketing. Check. Do you have that file on your side? On your, let me just do this. Let me remove this. So you should at least have that one file on your folder there. And then we can, if you want to use the previous command that we have used before, you can use the up arrow. So there's the up arrow, it brings in the previous commands. Just in case if you don't want to type in again the same command, you use the up arrow to bring in the previous command. So right now I want to bring in the previous command, which is marketing file.01. And then let me say press enter. See, now I have that file there. I deleted, let me delete it again. Now I don't have file 01. All right. Now I want to write it again there, file 01.txt, and then press enter. Then if I check in there, I do have that file 01. So I want us to create 3 files in there. I want us to create 3 files. So we have file 01 on your side already. You want to bring in another file. So you can use the up arrow and then just change the name there from 01 to 2. And then I want 03, I can use the up arrow. Instead of me retyping this entire line again, I use the up arrow to bring the command again and then use 03. So now I have 3 of those files. I have file 01, file 02, file 03. All right. And then I will share these commands with you also on the resources part. I think I did. If I didn't share that, I will check. I'll share all these commands with you via the notepad there, so that if you want to practice on your own, you can just practice again. But this is how you create files or create folders. So we've looked at echo. Echo is the way. So in Windows, there are so many ways of doing the same thing. Someone else, instead of saying echo, they might use this command here called type. Let me show you. Type. But this command, they don't ask you on, I've never seen a question that has to do with this command in CompTIA A+, but it also gets the job. It does the job. Let's say marketing. And then let's say now I need file number 4, right? Let's say file 04.txt. So the only thing that has changed now, I'm changing the command. So the command to add a new file in a folder was what? Echo. So I echoed this file inside marketing folder. So I said echo this file, file 03 inside that folder. Now I'm saying type null, hey, type null greater than, so meaning type null inside marketing folder, type this file 04. because currently there's no file 04, there's up to file 03. If this works, it should have now a new file there. All right, let me see if it has now. Can you see file 04? Again, in Windows, there are so many ways of doing the same thing. The first command that we looked at was echo to create a file inside a folder. And then there's another one, type null. To be honest with you, that's not all the function. Someone else might come again with another command to create that. There are so many things, so many ways of doing the same thing. Okay, so now I'm happy with the files that we have on our folders, right? So we have these files on our folders. Now, what I want is, I want us to copy files from one folder to another folder. For example, on our sales folder, there's nothing, it's empty. On our sales folder, it's empty. So I want to copy the files, only the files here to this folder here. I want to copy whatever we have here on marketing. I want to copy to, let me just do this. So I want to copy all the files inside marketing folder. I want to copy them to sales folder. Right now on sales folder is empty. Here on my side, there are 4 files and a folder inside there. So on your side, maybe there's 3 files. So we want to take those 3 files and then we copy them right here. Right, that's the task that we want to do now, copying from marketing to sales folder. All right, so we have learned a couple of commands there, but don't be overwhelmed with that. I will share the notepad and then you have to practice that. So I'll share the notepad with all the lines like this so that if you want to practice, you can practice that. And then the other thing is, if you are stuck, you can use this tool called, I know most of you now, okay, by the way, you're using the guest operating that I shared with you. There's Copilot there. You can ask it some questions there if you're stuck, how to copy from a folder to another folder. It will give you the path there and then you can copy that. So you can use this AI Copilot to just assist you with anything that you're having challenges within these platforms. All right, we understand the task now. The task is that we are copying files from marketing to sales. We know how to do this. We've been doing it for years, right? You highlight those and then you want to copy them, right click, you copy, or you send to, or you copy to cells. But right now we were going old school. Want to do it on a CMD. All right, so how then do we copy files from one folder to another folder? Now we need a copy function now. Sorry, a copy command. So we need the copy command. So when I say copy, so we need the copy command. So we want to say copy. What are you copying? So with the copy, you need to specify the source. The source is, this is where are you copying? Where's the stuff that you're copying? What I'm copying is inside marketing, right? So marketing is the source. This is where it's coming from. And then what exactly are you copying from marketing? I want to copy file 01.txt from marketing. And then the destination, where do you want to copy it to? I have a file called cell, a folder called cells, right? So the copy is the command that we use to copy items, all right? It will copy a copy of the file from which folder? From marketing, and then the destination is cells. So again, it might work, it might not work, and then we'll alter it, we'll fine tune it. If we struggle, we don't know how to fine tune it, we'll go to Copilot or any AI tool. So in IT, don't be shy, don't shy away from using these AI tools. There's no way you can remember all these things. Because on my side, sometimes I teach development, sometimes I teach technical support, sometimes, so there are different qualifications. So I can't really remember, I can't have all of this in the top of my head, and it's not really necessary. I can use all these AI tools, be like, okay, then how do I do 1, 2, 3? So if I get it wrong now, we will fine tune it, check it out, see how we can do it. But the whole idea now is that we are copying this file here. We want to copy this file 01. As you can see there, we typed in file 01.txt, file 01.txt. Where are we copying it to? We're copying it to cells. And then on cells, you can see cells is empty. So after running that command, we should see one file there, which is file 01. If it gives us problems, we check it out. So press enter there, let's see. On my side, it says one file's copied to that destination. It says one file copied to that destination. So the key is the command, which is copy. It copy files. And then the source, where are we copying this from? We're copying it from a folder called marketing. And then what exactly are you copying from marketing? I'm copying a specific file called file 01. And then where are you copying it to? Where are you copying this to? You're copying it to cells. All right. So we check again now manually. Then you can see now I managed to copy that. I managed to copy that. I managed to copy. I have one file now. I have one file now. I have one file now on my what you call on my sales folder. All right. But this thing now is you don't want to copy. Sometimes you don't want to copy. You don't want to copy these files one by one. What if you want to copy all the files there inside the marketing folder? You want to copy all the files. You don't want to copy one by one. So let's look at that option, that scenario. So this one is copy one file. We specified the file that we want to copy, file 01. What if now you want to copy all the files inside there? So how many files are inside marketing? So we want to copy all these files, excluding the folder, right? We want to copy all the files. So you say copy, and then say marketing. All right, we'll end class at 9 there. Today we're not going to go, we're not going to be that long. So marketing, copy, marketing, what else are we? We said the source, right? The source is marketing. And then, yeah, you can eat them. Copy, marketing.
Chili. How to eat?
I man. Okay, copy marketing.
Daddy.
Copy marketing.
Daddy,
Backslash.
Daddy.
Shift.
Star. Daddy.
You wanna eat pollen? Go eat it one. All right. We say copy marketing. Copy marketing. So here, instead of specifying the name of the file, we are using the asterisk, right? And then the dot, meaning that copy everything inside there. We're using the asterisk dot there to say copy everything inside. We're not specifying one file. And then where are we copying it to? So copy, Papi, stop doing that, please. Copy marketing backslash star dot star cells. So the difference now from the top command, is that we are specifying the entire 4 files inside the folder by using the asterisk dot asterisk there to specify, okay, go in that folder marketing and then copy every file, right? So that's this difference there. Because there are situations or scenarios that require you to copy every file instead of copying them one by one. And then press enter. My thinking is slow. Why my laptop? My VMware is slow and I have other applications running this side. All right, run again. Okay, AMR Seeker now in my virtual machine. Let me see if it will change or something. Okay, press again. Okay, it says now marketing file 01 txt, it exists on that folder. Remember, we've already copied it to that folder cells. So it says, do you want to overwrite that? Yes, I want to overwrite it, right? So I will shift yes that. I want to overwrite that, so I'll shift yes. So you can see now on my side, it says copied file 02, file 03, file 04. It says 4 files copied to that folder. So the key here was the star, the asterisk dot asterisk there to say copy everything. Copy everything within that folder, marketing, copy to cells. So that's the key there, the asterisk there. You need to know this when it comes to CompTIA. definitely they will give you scenarios where if you are copying the, what you might call it, when you want to copy the whole files in a folder, what option will you use? If you want to copy an individual file, sometimes they'll give you like a screenshot like this, right? Showing the command, and then the result. Showing, they'll give you like, yeah, the command, and then they give you different results and say, okay, what will this command do? They give you different results there. Then you have to note, okay, if I do copy marketing asterisk star asterisk dot asterisk cells, it will copy everything from marketing to that. So it will be just a command, and then you given the output, the different output. Then you have to choose, okay, this command, what output will it return? Okay, so we good with the copy. Now check here. There's one more thing though. We were not able to copy the folder, right? We're not able to copy the folder. Then what is it that we managed to copy? We managed to copy all the files, but there is a folder there. There is a folder. So copy doesn't copy folders, it copy files. So if you want to copy files and folders, there are commands for that. There's a command that what you call CompTIA will ask you about, which is called xcopy and robocopy. So xcopy can copy files and directories. Right now with the copy, we were only able to copy what we said, everything. Check here, we said star dot star, which means everything in there, which meant everything in there, but this one wasn't copied, the folder wasn't copied, meaning that the copied command can copy folders, it copy files. So if you want to copy only files, we use the copy, but if there's files and directories, then we need to bring in this xcopy. So CompTIA asks you about these two commands, which is xcopy and robocopy. Xcopy are for copying files and directories. So again, let's do the same thing. Xcopy now. I can even do this. Let me just do this. We said if you want to use the previous command, you can use an up arrow. So I want to do this now. I want to add the X there in the beginning. I want to say xcopy, marketing, and sales. Wait a minute, why are you doing that? What's the folder? Sales, right? And then /E. So we need to add that command there. Let's see. So we are now copying the entire, what you call the entire folders, directories, and we're now copying directories and files. So now at the end, the /E is a switch, which means copies all subdirectories, including empty ones. So we're copying all subdirectories, subfolders, which are directories, including the empty ones. So that /E is the key at the end. So instead of using this asterisk dot asterisk, now we're using the /E. So we're saying xcopy, everything that's in marketing, copy to, so the source is whatever is in marketing, the destination is sales. And then /E says copies all the subdirectories, including the empty ones, right? So we're copying all the subdirectories. So we're copying all files, all subdirectories. All right, so we're copying that. We're using an xcopy. So we said xcopy space marketing, which is our source, and then sales, which is our destination. So let's press enter and see if it works. If it doesn't work, we troubleshoot, find out why it's not working. Come on. Mine is a bit tired. My VM is a bit slow now. I've been pressing enter. It keeps acting up. Come on, you. All right, finally, it says override, because our sales folder contains files that are the same with what we have. So it says, do you want to override this? Yes, please. Let's say yes. So it's asking me one by one. Okay, so it says we copied 5 files copied, and then also there is that folder copied there. All right, so we managed to copy that. Let me see on my side on cells. Can you see now on cells I have data 01, I have files 01 txt. So I have everything that was on the marketing. I have all the same thing this side on cells. So what was the key here? Let me press enter, 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 and then do this, bring back the command. So we say the key was X copy, right? And then the other one was the slash, the switch at the end. /E, it says what? All files, subfolders, right? It's a switch that will determine, says, okay, all right. Okay, so that's X copy there. And then the other command that CompTIA will ask you about is robocopy. Robocopy is doing the same thing, and then the syntax is the same. So you just add robocopy at the beginning there. How do you spell robocopy there? It will use the same switches, the same syntax there. So robocopy will use the same syntax. So robocopy, marketing, sales, /in. So if CompTIA doesn't ask you about Xcopy, the question will be referring to robocopy. So Xcopy and robocopy, they do the same thing. These are commands that allow you to copy files and directories. So if they're not asking you about the Xcopy, they will ask you about the robocopy. So let me press enter there on robocopy. So I've typed in. So the only thing that I changed here was the X at the beginning of copy there. I changed it from X to robocopy. So you can see now, what does it say? Robocopy, robust file copy for Windows, cleaned files. It's giving me detailed information about that. But so those are the, let me do this. Let me say robocopy to a new file folder. So I do have this folder here that is empty. I want to see if it gave me an A. So this folder is empty. I want to do robocopy again. Thursday ended Thursday 17. So you can see it also copied the same thing to a new folder there, robocopy. So they all do the same thing. Your robocopy, your Xcopy, copying files and folders. It shows you the details of what it copied, right? It says, okay, I copied file 01 to 4. I copied the folder called data 01. So all of that information is given to you in details then. So this is, these are very important for you just to understand this. All right. I think I was moving in a pace that is slow enough for you guys to catch up with me. As I said, I know I'm one of those guys that, you know, move fast when it comes to explaining these things, but I tried my best. All right, so dir, cd. So change directory position, we used the cd xxs. So let's do the cd dot, and then cd / that side and see what it does before we wrap up this. Let's do that and see what it does. Let me go back to my, you see this side, I was able to zoom into this thing, it's bigger. So now I am, okay, let me just do this. Where was I? Oh, I zoomed in on my personal piece, on my host, but on my guest here, it doesn't want to zoom in. So now on the guest here, what is it that I wanted to do? Okay, now currently we are on C drive, users, clean desktop. Let's say you want to go back one step. Let's see if we can use the cd .. So cd dot dot. So it means when I'm done, let's say now I am done with, let's say I was on desktop folder. You can see I'm on desktop folder. When I'm done with this, I usually close it, right? I usually close this. I'm done with that folder. But here now, how do I move away from a folder that I was in? Currently, we are inside desktop folder. If you want to close or you want to move one step backward, let's see, there's this command called cd space dot dot. I'm assuming that it should take me one step backwards. It must take me to Clint there. Let me press that. You see now, it says now C drive users Clint. So it took me one step backwards. It's more like I have closed the desktop folder. I am inside my, so I was somewhere here. So it's the same as me just doing this, moving away, doing that, and then press Clint there. So now currently I am on this part here, right? So it's more like closing that page, that folder. So I move away from desktop. If I type in dir now, you can see now I am outside the desktop. I'm not inside the desktop folder. You can see the desktop is there also as a directory there, documents and all of that. So if you want to move once, so you want to move us out of the folder that you are in. Again, I'm inside Clint. I want to move out the Clint folder. I want to move one step backwards. Let's say cd dot dot, press enter. You see where it takes me to. It takes me to users. So I moved out from the directory. So if when I move out of the directory, when I close the directory, cd dot dot to move one step backwards. All right, let me see what else I missed there. Cd slash, it takes you to root. Let me see, cd, let's say cd, it takes you to the root. The root is the starting point. You see now it takes us here, which is the root directory. Let me say dir. You can see it takes me to the C drive, directory of C drive. It shows me all of these folders inside the C drive. So the cd space dot dot, it takes me one step backwards. But let me show you what I mean by that. I just want to click on desktop and then take this. And then I want to copy that I want to copy that. And then I want to do a CD and then right click inside here. I want to go back to where I was in marketing folder. So you see now I'm inside the marketing folder, C drive, users, clean, desktop, marketing. And then we say to close one folder, you do CD space 2 dots. It takes you one step backwards. But what if I want to go all the way back to the C drive? So I can do CD directly from there and then backslash. You see, it doesn't take me one step backwards. It takes me all the way back to root. So that's the difference between these two here. The CD / is the root. It takes you back to the C drive. And then this CD dot dot, it takes you one step backwards. All right, let me wrap up this. We have the file management. We looked at these. The copy, I ran a demo on copy. So they will ask you about these. The MD, make directory, creating a directory. So with the make directory, on our side, we used mkdir, make directory. There is also MD, make a directory, right? Create a directory. So there are so many commands that can do the same thing. And then if you want to delete a directory, you are done working on a directory, removing a directory, you will have to specify that directory, rd, let's see. So once you are done with the directory, hey, do this, what are you doing there? So once you are done with the directory, you want to delete, let's say for you were practicing on your actual PC there, you want to delete that because you are done with that part. Where was I? I wanted to copy the path. I wanted to copy this part. Okay, my PC is tired. So let me just cd dot dot one, no, dot dot one step backwards. And then we said we want to delete something. Let's see, rd. RD, and then which directory do I want to delete? I want to delete a folder called cell. I have this folder here, right? I have that folder there. All right, I have I said RD and then cell. I'm assuming I want to delete that. Let's say RD. The directory is not empty. So it's telling me that the directory is not empty. So I might need to add a switch. Let me see. It checks the directory, says the directory is not empty. I want to use a switch at the end and see the switch I'm trying to force. I'm trying to force it to delete that. So bring up back the command rd cell, and then let me say /s. Let me say /s there at the end. So the /s deletes the folder, right? So when I typed in rd cell, which is cell is the name of this folder down here. So it's saying that that folder cannot be deleted right now because it's not empty. So I'm forcing it to delete it even though it's not empty using this switch /switch. Come on. Say, cell, are you sure? Yes, I am sure. All right. And then now you can see the folder is not there. All right. There is not enough time for us to cover everything, but you get the idea though. Disk management commands. We looked at the disk partition, right, last time. System commands. Okay. So I'm happy with lesson 1, 2. I think I have covered stuff that I need. Obakeng is coming in on Saturday morning, taking you guys from module from lesson 3, adding more. So we have assisted labs. As I said on your side, that the reason why we have the virtual environment is because we don't want to buy the labs from CompTIA. We want to utilize our own hardware and then run all of these labs. So these are the labs that we're running now. So we didn't have to pay for this. We're running them on our actual PC there. So on my side, I'll be checking the labs that they have on CompTIA so that it can align with the exam. And then I'll be running those labs. And then you do the same thing on your side, practice. You should be fine. You should be able to take the exam because this is what they are looking for. You see now there is no Xcopy here. This is the CompTIA slides. And then they didn't add the Control Z. So there's no Xcopy. So there are some other commands. For example, here, I use the RD. I use the RD to remove a directory. There's another command called rmdir. It does the same thing, remove directory. So there's RD, remove directory. There's rmdir, remove directory. It's doing the same thing. So you just have to figure out what are the other commands available for you. But the ones that I'll be covering are those commands that you are going to be asked under CompTIA. All right. Let me just do this open floor for questions. Any questions, guys? Anyone with the questions? Anyone? A contribution? Question? Contribution? All right, Remo, some thumbs up there. Anyone with the question? All right, again, it might be a lot because we're trying to cover a lot of content in a short space of time. So now it might have been a lot of things to grasp, but you have the recording. The recording will be available after 5 minutes. Then you can now go through that at your own spare time. Just make sure you go through it several times. And again, there are other sites where you can get more information about what we are doing. So I'll keep on sharing resources there on the resource folder. Under recording, there's a resource folder. I'll keep sharing more stuff. Okay, before I close this, there's one. I have 5 minutes. Please allow me to do this. There is this part for if you want to learn more about virtualization, right? Let me see if I have that environment. I have that site for virtualization. It's going to be our homework for virtualization. Since we learned about virtualization, where is that site? I think I heard it somewhere here. I'll share the site again also with you guys. So it's a site that you will just it is a quick lesson on virtualization. It's under this company called the Nerve Dev Group. Let me copy the link there. I'll also share the link on the group. So our homework, there are free courses there, but there's a short one that I want you to do just to learn more on virtualization. Let me paste it there. Let me just paste that course there. So it's under this, it's owned by the NTG, right? Which is the company that has to do with virtual environment and all of that. So now it's asking me to subscribe. First, it will ask you to subscribe. It just accept that for now for you to get what you're looking for. And then let me say submit. I think it should take me to a, yes, I did subscribe. Now, why is it the one though? Okay, there's this other link because there's a short course for VMware there, just for us to, because the virtualization of virtual environment, these are the courses now that, or these are the technologies that you'll see that you need to know as a technician, right? Okay, here now the correct link instead of that one that I was using. So check portal.net dev, I'll share the link. It is a short course here, there are labs. So it gives you access to their own lab environment, like what we did here when we created our own environment. For those that were still struggling with the creation of their environment, you can now practice this using this environment or their platform, cloud virtualization concept, self-paced micro course. You can see it has 4 modules. First, lab 1, create a virtual machine. So you're practicing again how to create a virtual machine, and then virtual machine files and snapshot, how to create and save those files, how to create a snapshot. Because the snapshot is this thing whereby you see the environment that I'm using now, what I was doing now, someone else can ask me for that operating system. I can share the entire operating system with you. I can share this entire operating system with you as it is. So I can share this Windows 10 with you, and then you load it on your PC. And then again, if you're changing PCs, you can copy that environment, paste it on another environment, and then run it on the VM there. It will be able to run. So you having all these files that you have here, so you can move these around. So that course now will take you that process of how to do the snapshots, copying your VM, copying it to another machine, cloning your VM, exporting your VM. You're taking your VM from one PC to another PC. Virtual machine networking, how does it work? So that's our homework before we meet on Thursday next week, or Saturday. I'm not coming in. Someone else is jumping in to cover the next part. But our homework is this. We're covering this, just learning about virtualization. They used to give like what you call the badges, but they don't give any recognition anymore because they are closing this part now. So yeah, I'll share the link with you guys. So that's our homework for this week, just to learn virtualization. All right, I think now is 9 o'clock. I apologize. I think we took out 2 hours, right? Like I didn't steal much of your time. I think that was within the range. Is it 2 hours? Yeah, I think it's 2 hours. All right. Thank you guys. See you on Saturday morning. I'll join in the morning. Saturday, we have 2 classes on Saturday morning. We have the class for exam prep, and then we have a class for what you call our boot camp, right? There are 2 classes, but you guys are not on the exam prep. So there's a class for exam prep, and then there's another class for the boot camp. JR Breezy, your hand is up. You want to ask a question, or it was a thumbs up?
Oh, morning.
Hi.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Oh, so can you help me according to Windows 11 or can access my local PC?
JR, I can't hear you. I'm not sure if other guys can hear you. On my side, you're like breaking a bit. Come again. JR, you were breaking a bit there. I couldn't hear you.
I was saying, I was saying I upgraded my laptop just
Yeah.
for it, and I upgraded into Windows 11, and now I can access my local.
JR, what I heard is that you upgraded your laptop to Windows 11. After that, I didn't hear the other part. You said you upgraded your laptop to Windows 11.
Oh, yeah. And I was trying to access my piece, my desktop piece. I couldn't access it.
All right, let's do this. Just drop me a message on WhatsApp there. Let's release everyone. Just drop me a message. We have my number is there on the group, right? Just drop me a message and then we'll chat directly with the issue that you're facing on your side.
I'm not on the group, sir.
No, it's fine, JR. Just
not
drop
on
me a
the group.
message there. We'll fix it, me and you. Because on my side, I'm not sure if other people can hear you so that they can say what you are saying. I'm struggling to hear you.
Can you share the link, sir?
Ludwig, you heard him. You want to say, contribute something, want to say something, or you want to, Ludwig? All right, guys, looks like I'm not sure if I'm the one having a technical issue on my side, but I can't hear Ludwig and I can't hear JR there. But if they had questions, please drop that message directly to my WhatsApp and then we can look at that. But for now, let me just release everyone. Thank you guys for tonight. See you Saturday morning. Have a lovely evening.
What time Saturday morning again, sir?
Mornings, we keeping them at 8:30 a.m. We just want to do again 1 hour, 30 minutes or 2 hours maximum.
Okay, all right. Same link, yeah?
Yeah, I think we're just going to be changing a message on the link, but the link will be just the same link always.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
All right, sure.